Well, hey, what's going on? Good evening. It is your fellow student here, Devin Perkins, and I am here in my apartment, my humble abode. Um, this is my personal vlog to you on the review of the play had the pleasure of seeing called The Decipher, which was amazing and incredible because I don't usually go to plays. But yeah, so before the play, we got the chance to sit down and the what is called the black box, and I had the chance to really look around and kind of get the feel of the atmosphere. When you got in, basically the um, the play had like dim lighting of yellow, green and red, and I do have my notes in front of me, so if you see me looking over, I'm kind of getting a reference, but I got some pretty good notes jotted down, so we'll continue with that. And yeah, there was a mix of green as well. There was fog and smoke kind of pushed throughout the black box, trying to give the atmosphere before even the play started. So you're already like part of the show once you get in there, you know. So instead of just like when the first actor walks on stage, that's not when the show starts. The show already started, but that's just when the first character gets on the stage. So that's really cool. Yeah, so when you walked in, you saw a thrust stage pushed out where there's three different areas of audiences to see the play. And there was on the thrust stage there was one level, and then there was a second level, a balcony that was going to be used. At this point, my perception is that they're going to put actors on the second story to emphasize how important they are in the scene. I don't know what the story's about. All I knew was that it's called Decipher, and it's about women passing around secret messages in the Civil War. And that's all I knew at that moment. Um, so, um, a warning for the program said that there's going to be mist and fog, which you already saw, and lighting that you already saw. There's going to be stage combat throughout the play, so be aware of that. And then also loud gunshots throughout the play. So they wanted to warn you so you weren't scared, which is, pretty exciting. We had a intermission. It was divided up into two parts. You had Act 1 and Act 2, and in the middle you had about 10-minute intermission. So by intermission, I understood that the antagonist was this young woman named Belle Boyd, who lived in Richmond, Virginia. The setting was Richmond, Virginia, and it was really focused on, the South fighting the North. And she was this secretive con artist, if you will. She wanted to help out the South win the war, so she would pass secret messages that she got from Union soldiers. She would flirt with them to get messages from the Union soldiers and pass those messages up to the Confederate soldiers, yeah, and to help them win battles, things like that. And so, like I said, this is the Civil War, and the time period was between 1861 and 1865, mostly taking place in Richmond, Virginia. Other important characters was you had a guy named Timothy Webster. He was caught helping the North, so he was hung for treason against the South, and you see him get killed off. Another important character who was this rich woman in Richmond named Elizabeth Van Lew. She believed in the North and understood that the South has lost the war a long time ago, so she didn't believe in what they believed. She was warm-hearted, passionate, and loyal. And yeah, so costumes. These characters' costumes really portrayed the era of the time of, the Civil War, that 1800s style, and you could tell who were the slaves and who were the rich people depending on what they wore. So it was all your hierarchy or a statue of yourself in society. Um, the most dramatic scene I would say in the play was Mr. Webster getting hung, because it had every actor out there on stage and they all had their backs turned to the crowd to focus on the one character who was getting hung. So by doing so, by turning their back from the crowd, they're trying to emphasize, hey, look over here. This guy, it's an important part. You might want to pay attention. So it was pretty intense. It was pretty like eerie, kind of quiet, because it's somebody dying. So I guess one word I would use to describe the play was magnificent. I mean, everybody worked so hard, and I understood like what all the background people have to do to get this play going, and not just the actors practicing their lines and things like that, but like the whole crew. They're all one big team just to get this like 2-hour production. Like it takes like months or weeks to get this 2-hour production going. So you know, basically, so for the story, back to the story. Yeah, so Bella Boyd, you saw character development throughout the story. She was this conniving con artist, flirty, and then she got arrested, thrown in jail, beaten up a little bit. The reason she was like this was because at the very beginning of the play, you see like the origin of why she was the way she was. She was kind of cold-hearted on the side. You didn't really understand that until the end, but you could kind of see it as to why she was doing what she was doing. Okay, so Bella Boyd's friend was her slave, named Eliza, right? Eliza saw her as a sister, so wanted to help her out and do what she could, even though Bella wanted to continue to help the South. And so at the end, you see them have a conflict on, like, Eliza's like, I don't want the South to win because I want to be free of being a slave. And then Belle's like, well, I always want you to be with me, and I own you, and you're my slave, so I'm continuing to help the South. But then it was a weird twist at the end because Belle falls in love with a Union soldier and runs off to England with him. So Eliza becomes free, because ultimately the North wins, the Union wins, and slaves are free. So, yeah. So this was my first play at Liberty University. I got to watch as the audience. That was my role as the audience, is to continue to be quiet, respectful, and pay attention throughout the story. It would have been cool to watch it again to see the differences between what I saw then and what I could have seen again, but maybe I'll have other chances. And that is my review on the play of Decipher. Thank you very much.